We love hip hop.
Yeah, and now at the same time as the ramp up, a whole rap beef starts.
Right.
Which is just like content Christmas, you know what I mean?
It is. It's like 2020 all over again.
Yeah. So there's breakdowns on the song, there's breakdowns on the homie's character and the different things that he should do. Now, as a hip hop,
those are just suggestions, you know. It's the closest I understand. I get to a reaction, you know. It's the closest I get to a reaction. I'm gonna start doing reaction videos too, though.
And listen, as a commentator myself on this hip hop scene, okay, I always give my objective, honest opinion. But I also know that there's different people who are listening to the content, i.e., even some, you know.
Yeah, you gotta be careful over there. Right? You don't want to get your house shot up.
You know what I'm saying? So chill. But like, when it comes to commentary on Drake, he's there's so much different things to talk about. Okay. Yeah. But one thing I want to know, with everything that's happened, what should he do now? Because I seen the breakdown even on the Sexy Red record.
Be a real person, man. Just be a real person. Like that seems like the hardest thing for him to do for so long. Like, find a situation that happened where he was a real person. When that dude peed on his leg.
Oh, come on, just don't do that, man.
I'm not sure that's how a real person reacts.
It wasn't like the man stood next to him and peed on him directly.
If someone gets too close to peeing on your leg, I'm not sure. How about this? I won't do it. You're right. Yeah, maybe that's uncalled for.
Come on.
The
situation was weird, man. It's hard for him and Chubbs and those guys to start flipping out in there, man. Come on, man.
I guess.
Especially if it was an accident. I don't think he did it on purpose, man. R.I.P. to T.I.'s homie, but like, I don't think he did it on purpose, man.
Wasn't T.I. talking about this week? All right, we'll leave that alone.
Let's leave that alone. Remember,
right. That's not fair. That's not fair. It's not fair. I'm right. That's my fault. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay, but regardless of them watching or not, who cares?
A real person, right? Because look, I mean, you know, I feel like Drake's success has turned him into more of a superhero persona than when he originally started. I think, you know, he was very vulnerable in his music, you know, more often.
Yeah.
I mean, even the way he approached his music was more emotive. And I think after, I don't know this factually, but I feel like after he beat Meek Mill, you know, his success, along with the success that he had, but also having what was viewed at the time as a quality battle win, you know, inevitably you get more people who become more critical of you, more detractors, which makes you have to harden up a little bit. So you got to increase your stature and stuff. I think that's very natural, right? But I don't hear love in his music. You know, I hear lust. You know, I don't hear joy in his music. I hear pleasure. Okay, I don't hear, you know, honesty in his music. I hear, you know, projection, right? I think the number of times that he brags about things that I'm not sure are honorable, you know, like I feel like there's the number of times he's talked about people's wives and women and hooking up with their girlfriends or people in their lives. Like, you know, I'm not sure that works as a maturing artist, right? You know, I think I parallel him to Kanye West in a lot of ways because, one, there would be no Drake if there's no Kanye. There'd be none of this without Kanye, basically. But he's found ways to be infinitely young, right? And so his ways of being infinitely young is always remaining counterculture, right? Every population catches some shade from Kanye at some point in time.
Right.
It was George Bush, Taylor Swift and the Grammys. It was Black people, it's Jewish people, it's corporate people. It's everybody's going to get it from Kanye at some point.
Yeah.
And it always mirrors whatever the youth's biggest, you know, problem is, like whatever the youth are. He's early on that kind of stuff, right? So he's gotten past the point where he needs to be the guy with all the fresh bars all the time. And that's part of his brilliance and genius when it comes to music. He just knows how to bring worlds together to make stuff that's impactful, but that to me is his youngest, truest, most youthful quality to him, so when he says crazy stuff that might sound juvenile, it's not coming from a place where it seems like he doesn't care, he's above it all. Like, he is extremely emotional. He actually cares all the time about everything, maybe way too much, right? On Drake, it's like the opposite side. Like, he feels like he is, he's assumed a mob boss persona to a degree. And maybe that's out of defense mechanism. Maybe it's out of, protection from all the, he's got a lot of enemies for a long time,
Yeah.
Perhaps that's what it is. Maybe it's ego. I tend to think it's just ego and being on top for a long time and actually being very disconnected to what's happening in real people's lives on the ground, but like, I think he needs to be a real person. Also, I think he needs to find something to stand for. The number of times I've watched him in interviews, especially in Canadian interviews, like that Q interview was such a transformative interview for me, because that dude asked Drake, how come he doesn't talk about like social issues or real stuff or however he said? I don't want to say what Drake talks about isn't real. I think, human emotion is very real,
Yeah.
But why does he take his conversations broader? He says he can't talk about anything that's not happening in his own life. Right now, to me, that is the most minimizing quality as an MC. Right, not even just whether or not you're going to care about some voting topic or something like that. Just the fun of a third person story, like regulators or something, la-di-da-di, like just some fun third person narrative story, I think this is the genre with the words, man. Like, there's all kinds of ways to tell stories. The children,
he sprinkles stuff in there, like Kennedy Road. Like, he'll sprinkle names of different places out here where, like, us over here will be like, yeah, I know that place, but the actual what happened there kind of thing, I guess, is what you're looking for more.
Well, I'm not looking for personally anything at this point. I've got my favorite Drake projects. I think I'm good. Like the ones I love are the ones I love. Because I've lost respect for him now. I'll be honest. Especially the way that this battle transpired, because I didn't realize he was this disconnected from a lot of very loud cultural things that ring with Black Americans. Like the slaves line is crazy. Calling Rick Ross racist is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, playing this victim mentality. He started talking about Whitney straight up. The whole song is, I'll be with some bodyguards like Whitney. From the beginning. And then he shows up on Family Matters. He's like, you the one who brought the kids into it. What is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, to me, having his mom on there telling him not to say nigga, and then just disrespecting his mom, that's crazy to me. Like, it's like, he could have just had his dad. Why did he have his dad? He should have had his dad on there and been like, go get him, son, rep from Memphis. That's all he had to say.
He's in a tough position, man.
Is he? Is it that tough? Look how successful he is. Look at all the things he's amassed over this long period of time. Look at all the relationships that he's built. There has to be some reason. And you guys did a great job on the Canada Doesn't Have a Sound episode.
Thank you.
Talking about how the challenges you guys all have. Like you pull from New York sound, you pull from a Caribbean sound. There isn't one thing that really defines what's happening in Canada.
We love hip hop.